Dior Sauvage, Chanel's Bleu de Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent's Y EDP, Versace's Dylan Blue, Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue Intense, Mont Blanc's Legend Blue, M. Michelef's Desire Toxic Intense, Coach's Blue EDT. All right, gents, did you see the pattern? So every single one of those fragrances could be classified as a blue fragrance. And in case you don't know what a blue fragrance is, it's a category in perfumery characterized by fresh, clean, versatile scent profiles. Blue fragrances often evoke the essence of water, air, and the outdoors. Think of the accords as citruses, aromatics, and aquatics mixed. Blue fragrances are designed to appeal to everybody. Unfortunately, they also get a bad rap, as that some fragrance snobs out there will say they're not unique enough. And I totally get it. There are some uninspiring blue fragrances out there. Not naming names here, but yeah, I've wasted a lot of money on fragrances that are repetitive, don't bring anything new to the table. But for a beginner, a guy buying his first fragrance, you can't go wrong with one of the blue fragrances I listed out at the beginning of this video. Okay, well, maybe some were a little bit overplayed, overworn. There were other ones on the list that have been out for a few years you can find great deals on, and they are friggin' amazing. The reality is, though, these fragrances work, and that's why the fragrance houses keep coming out with them. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find a person out there that doesn't love this one right here. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. It's almost perfect. That being said, if you want something unique, you definitely go niche. There are blue variations out there that don't smell like anything else, yet still fit this category. And in case you're wondering, the fragrance that's credited with starting the craze is aptly named Bleu de Chanel by Chanel. If you're just getting started, you're a beginner, this is the video for you. So if you're a bit advanced when it comes to fragrances, you're going to like this video because I'm going to throw in some niche fragrances. These are fragrances you're not going to find at your normal box store. Oftentimes, they're a little bit stronger, unique, and really fun and rewarding if you find one that suits you. I got a lot of fragrances here, but I'm going to make this simple for you. I'm going to give you a lot of choices, but if you just grabbed one out of each of these categories, you can very easily build a versatile collection with honestly less than 10 fragrances. So without further ado, let's get to our next category. Bulgari's Aqua pour Homme Atlantique, Acqua di Gio Profondo, Azzaro's Chrome Aqua, Davidoff's Cool Water, Versace Manna Fresh, Creed's Millésime Impérial, Serjoff's 40 Knots. So can you guess which category those fragrances are in? As you probably guessed, those were all aquatics. Now, aquatics, as you can guess, are usually fresh, light, and have a marine element. Now, you may be asking, how do they get a sea breeze note in a fragrance? I mean, seriously, what do? Go down to the beach and try to capture the wind in a bottle? No, the science behind it was a note developed in the 1980s called cologne. It's a synthetic compound that gives that sea breeze type of smell with a little bit of fruity and floral notes. Now, in this regard, Acqua di Gio is really unique because as you see here, you've got a wide range of flankers, and oftentimes one of the things they're adjusting is the amount of the sea smell that we actually have in the fragrance. Profondo right here is actually very famous for being more aquatic. You got the seaweed, you got the kind of beach smell, but if that sounds at all off-putting, just grab the original EDT, or in my opinion, the EDP, which is even better, and it really does a good job of not overdoing the aquatic notes, although I really do like the Profondo personally. I think it lasts longer, but the EDP is really, it's probably the best of the bunch for the guy that doesn't want to smell like the beach. Now, if you want something that's going to be a little bit more mainstream, more fresh, less on the aquatics, don't go with something that has aqua in it. The original chrome actually is pretty good and easier to find. But right here, Versace's Manna Fresh. This is a summer staple. And in fact, the citrus top is really strong. We'll talk about citrus fragrances here in a second, but this one right here is an easy wear and gets compliments all day. And what I love about this category is the range in prices. If you're on a tight budget, just simply look to Cool Water. Tons of options there, and they've got variations. They got flankers. They're going to be more aquatic than the original. Versus if you've got money to spend, then you can go with Creed, which some people don't consider Creed niche anymore since they've been sold, but they still make pretty darn good fragrances. They are pricey though. But Millésime Impérial, yeah, this is like fruit mixed in with the Mediterranean. Absolutely beautiful. Doesn't last very long. If you want something that's got longer staying power, reminds a lot of people of Profumo, except higher end. This is the guy that owns the yacht. This is what he's wearing. 40 Knots by Serjoff. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but I actually put these fragrances in a logical order. It took me a couple hours to set this up, but we're going to move over to the left side of the table and talk about some of the lighter fragrances. So options here: Versace Eros Energy, Hermès's Eau Givrée, however you pronounce it, sorry, I'm not French, Dior's Eau Sauvage Parfum, Creed's Irofa, Dunhill's Icon Racing, Issey Miyake's L'Odyssée pour Homme, John Varvatos Artisan Pure, Dior Homme Cologne, Arrakis by Spirit of Kings, Perseus by Parfums de Marly, Mes Bisous A Wondrous Flight, Bergamasque by Orthopresi, Allure Homme Edition Blanche, Tom Ford Costa Azura, So all those fragrances I am going to label as citruses. Now every single one of those fragrances has other notes and could probably be put into another category. Example, Versace's Manna Fresh, I talked about this one earlier. This one could also be labeled as a citrus. You see, the reason I put all these fragrances in this category is because they have a very strong, realistic opening citrus note. However, all of them, when they dry down, that means when we switch from the top notes more to the middle and the base notes, we have other notes that reveal themselves. And in case you don't remember, citrus notes in general, they're going to be picked up at the outset when a fragrance is sprayed on your body. In addition, a lot of these citrus fragrances I put in this category because they are relatively light, meaning that you could wear them like right after the gym, hence sport. That being said, there are citruses out there that can go beast mode. Oftentimes they're using a unique note like yuzu, or they're formulated through a niche house and made with certain compounds that are made to project. Now, if you were super observant, you probably saw that some of these fragrances aren't any that you have ever seen in a box store, and that's because quite a few of these were niche fragrances. Now, gents, if you're in the market for niche fragrances, you need to check out today's sponsor, Max Aroma. So yeah, the fragrance I've got right here, Arrakis from Scent to Kings, absolutely beautiful, and you're going to find over at Max Aroma. You're not going to find this in your local box store. A Wondrous Flight, which has great projection, great staying power, a beautiful citrus top. Look at the breakout of the notes. That's what I love about a lot of these niche houses, is they really take care of the packaging. And I have to say, overall, this is an absolutely beautiful scent. And gents, I'm telling you, if you're looking for some of the best fragrances on the planet coming out of the Middle East, check out the Spirit of Dubai. Right here, as you can see, I've got Bosquir, an amazing fragrance, a little bit complex, or maybe you want something slightly different, check out Abjar Bois. Absolutely beautiful packaging, absolutely beautiful bottle. And what I love about the Spirit of Dubai, these guys know how to blend notes. And on a personal note, the fragrance I'm wearing today, check out the house of Ojar, specifically Wood Whisperer. This is a woody powder amber fragrance with a really clean, woody, powdery smell that gets compliments. Seriously, every time I've worn this, I've had somebody say you smell amazing. And if you're an advanced fragrance guy, you're looking for something unique that nobody else is wearing, check out Paramour by Oman Luxury. This one, as you can see here, it's got really strong masculine notes. This fragrance right here projects, it goes beast mode. And besides Wood Whisperer, if I were to recommend any fragrance for a blind buy, check out M. Mikalev's Red Colorado. You got the pines with the woods. It's a very simple yet complex, absolutely beautiful fragrance. Easily one of the best from the M. Mikalev line, which, by the way, you can find the entire line over at Max Aroma. Love the way they ship quick, package well. And when it comes to the niche fragrances you can't find anywhere else, yeah, Max Aroma is where it's at. Down in the description of today's video, I'm linking over to Max Aroma with the best deals you're going to find this holiday season. So with that being said, to our next category. Burberry Hero Eau de Parfum. Armani Code EDT. Mont Blanc Legend EDP. Creed's Original Santal. Hermes's Terre d'Hermes. Tom Ford's Oud Wood. Wood Whisperer and Red Colorado. All right, with the inclusion of these last two, I think you figured out which category this is, right? All right, gents, let's talk about woods. Now, anyone that's ever been outdoors, been around wood, been in a lumber store, you know the smells I'm talking about. And woods come in all different types. You've got oud, which is going to be a deeper, richer, very earthy type smell, versus sandalwood, which is much smoother, can be also much sweeter. And then there are the woods that fall in between, like cedar. Now, most of these wood fragrances are not going to be wood dominant, like this one right here. No, most of the wood fragrances, especially the best sellers out there, these are going to usually have a citrus top, but the wood is what they're going to get to very quickly. This one right here by Burberry has actually made a pretty big splash. I really like this fragrance. The EDT, the EDP, and the Parfum are all solid options. And for those of you guys in the know, you don't need to spend a crazy amount of money to get a great sandalwood. I would be careful of Jupe. You guys know I don't really like that fragrance. A little bit too sweet, too much sandalwood with steroids, and it just smells unnatural. But yeah, if you don't want to spend hundreds of bucks, you still want to get the smell of Original Santal, then check out Mont Blanc's Individual. Now, one of the things I absolutely love about wood fragrances is a lot of people associate this scent profile with masculinity. And the scent profile overall is universally appealing. Seriously, if you're just getting started with your fragrance collection, you cannot go wrong with a classic masculine woody scent. Yes, it's probably going to have some other earthy notes in it. This one right here has a little bit of maybe an overripe orange at the top, but believe it or not, this thing works. And this fragrance right here, Terre d'Hermes, the classic, this thing is a compliment monster that most guys don't even know about. Sorry, I know some of you guys are trying to keep that under wraps. In that case, just go grab Red Colorado by M. Mikalev. This right here is an amazing, amazing wood. Yeah. Now for this next category, let's spice things up. First up, we got Bulgari's Man in Black, Dior Sauvage Elixir, Tom Ford's Noir Extreme, Dolce & Gabbana's K Intense, and Dolce & Gabbana's Intenso, Carolina Herrera's CH Men, Azzaro's the most wanted EDP Intense. So, what do all those fragrances have in common? These are the spicy fragrances categorized by warm, exotic notes like cinnamon, peppers, and cardamom. Now, the best example of this is Victor and Rolf and their Spice Bomb line. They got a lot of flankers out there, got a lot of options, but in particular, their infrared line, both the EDP and the Parfum, these fragrances are all about the cinnamon, the peppers. And what's interesting, when you wear a spicy fragrance, these things project. These are fragrances when you want to walk into a room and you want to own it, people are going to pick up. There's just something that makes the nose tickle that's usually in these fragrances. Now, the fragrance houses do this to different degrees. If you want something that's a lot more muted, a very simple to wear spicy fragrance, simply look at Man in Black by Bulgari. Dolce & Gabbana, as I showed you, has a couple options. Intenso, a little bit harder to find. Still a classic, absolutely amazing. But K right here, the new Intense one, this one is pretty darn good and relatively versatile for a spicy fragrance. Now, right next to the spicy, and there is a lot of overlap here, but let's talk specifically about the Orientals. Now, the Oriental fragrances are very similar to the spicy fragrances, warm, exotic notes, but there's a couple small differences. First up, you've got the spices, yes, but you've also got resins, so it's going to be things like incense and frankincense, and you also have the vanilla note. So fragrances in this category, Jean Paul Gaultier's Elixir, and actually pretty much any fragrance from Jean Paul Gaultier, the Paco Rabanne 1 million line, the original Versace Eros. Now, the problem for a lot of guys with those fragrances I just talked about is that they're too loud. They're too in your face. I will say that they're great date fragrances, especially for the guy that's going out, maybe club fragrances for the guy that wants to stand apart. But if you're looking for an Oriental fragrance that isn't over the top, look for something that has the amber notes in it. And one of the best examples, most established fragrances in that realm is going to be Dolce & Gabbana's The One. Now, there are all types of versions of this. I still like the original or maybe the EDP. The Intense is okay, but yeah, look around. You can find the original out there at discounters. As you're out there searching for it, you want something that's a little bit younger, something I think a guy in his 20s or 30s could easily pull off. Check out Dunhill Custom. Again, this one isn't in your face. It's very similar to The One, but I would say a little bit more youthful. Now, gents, if you're watching this video, you got questions, you want someone to answer them, you need to go check out our free group, The Brotherhood of Scent. Seriously, this group right here, I've got all the infographics you saw in today's video. I've got my best deals. I give away fragrances in this free group you can join. I seriously think this is the world's best group for men's fragrances. I know, not a whole lot of competition, but what I love about this group, it's got guys just like you that want to better understand fragrance, and it's a really friendly, awesome community of guys looking to build the perfect fragrance collection. And yeah, I've got too many fragrances. I give them away over in that group. So gents, get over there and join. It's the Brotherhood of Scent. So starting off this next category, we've got Mugler's Amen, Jean Paul Gaultier's Scandal, Kilian's Angel Share. And while we're at it, let's talk about Gold Night and Straight to Heaven, along with Apple Brandy and Black Phantom. Yeah, as you can tell, I like Kilian, especially with this category. Tom Ford's Black Orchid. So the category I'm talking about here are known as gourmands. These are fragrances that smell like something you could almost eat. Mugler did this really well. They've done it with almost all of their fragrances. This one right here, Pure Malt. Jean Paul Gaultier, the Scandal line, has done it really well with notes like caramel. The House of Kilian has done this really well. No surprise there, but yeah, Black Phantom has a rich chocolate note to it. Straight to Heaven has the smell of a barrel of whiskey that's been opened and is evaporating. Gold Night has a unique honey note to it. And as strange as it may sound, those gourmand notes, the smell of something that people just absolutely love, these were started on the women's side, but come to find out, when a man wears this, he becomes irresistible to the opposite sex. So if you want a set of fragrances that are really going to draw in the ladies, get your wife to eat you up, yeah, check out the gourmands. What about aromatics? I will say, if you're just starting off your collection, don't be afraid of earthy scents, especially vetivers. Some great options here are Guerlain's Vetiver and Creed's Original Vetiver. And a couple earthy masculine options. I know this is going to sound weird, but they smell like the ground after a rain. Well, you're going to want to check out Gucci Guilty Absolute and Bulgari Man's Terra Essence. And if you're really into that, you want something really herbaceous, you like the whole moss note, check out H24's Herbes Vives. That or the H24 EDP, which I find a little bit more wearable. Now, I know I didn't hit leathers, I didn't hit sheepers, I didn't hit fougères. And there are some fragrances, let's just face it straight up, they cover so much, it's really hard to even put them in a category. But yeah, I hope this video helped you better select your first set of fragrances, because really you don't need to grab too many. That being said, if you're addicted to fragrances, you want to know what's the latest and greatest for this last year, guys, I got you covered, boom, with this video right here. Yeah, go check it out right there, boom. Greatest, the newest fragrances I go through, talk about, I rank them. Yeah, go check it out right there.